Hi, this is Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. Still talking about pensions because that is certainly topical at this time in Kentucky. Some are literally wondering why we need to do anything now. Is it really that important to address this now? Do we really need to make structural changes for those future employees that are not yet in the system? The answer, unfortunately, is yes, because the system truly is bleeding out. The alternative is to have the system fail and to have checks stop coming. Will they stop in the next 1 or 2 years or even 3 years? Probably not. Will they stop for some of the plans as soon as 3 to 5 to 6 years down the road? Yes, they will. And with each subsequent plan over time, they'll begin to fail in the years ahead. That's not acceptable. For those that are worried about their retirement income, and understandably worried, you want to make sure you actually have something coming. We've got to save the system. The KEA has been intentionally telling people that they have to retire based on this. That's not the case. And they acknowledge themselves that there's nothing in the proposed plan that would financially incentivize a teacher currently eligible to retire to actually retire. Quite the opposite is true. They also, in an article that you'll see linked in this video, you'll see a link to an article that was in the paper recently that talks about the fact that the KEA, using numbers that they think are accurate, estimate they're only $14.5 billion underfunded. And they said if only the ARC had been made throughout the years, that would have contributed $3.8 billion to that problem. Well, that's still $10.7 billion underfunded. Where is that $11 billion going to come from? And additionally, what does that say? It says that the system is structurally broken. So let's say we were only $11 billion underfunded and trending downward. That simply means that the system is broken. This is the whole point in having to save the system. We have less than 1.5 active teachers right now for every retiree. In the state as a whole, we have fewer employees working than we have retirees. The system is built on the assumption that there's more people paying in than there are retired. It's actually inverted. It's not working anymore. It hasn't for some years. People have not shot straight with you. That's the sad reality. Previous governors who sat in this office did not shoot straight with you. Members of the legislature, some shot straight and some didn't, but overall, nothing changed. The time for fixing the system is now. I wish I did not have to be this person. I recognize how important a retirement benefit is to somebody. My grandmother was a public school teacher. My grandfather died when my mother and her sister were young and were still at home. So my grandmother, as a single mother and as a teacher and a public school teacher who had an undergraduate and master's level degree in education in an era when most women didn't even go to school, had to be the sole breadwinner provider and save for her retirement. She lived to be 94 years old. That retired benefit meant everything to her. It was literally all that she had. I understand that. I appreciate that. I have 2 other generations of my family, my father and 2 of my siblings, who also have degrees in public education and have taught in the public school system. The reality, I know, not only for teachers, but for law enforcement officers, for our highway workers, and for our prison guards and everybody else, we have got to address this system. We have to make sure people have something they can rely on. The easiest thing to do would be to keep lying about it. The easiest thing to do is to say, oh, you'll get what you're promised, knowing that, in fact, financially, that's not possible. We're not going to do the easy thing because the easy thing is the wrong thing. We're going to save the pension system because we are Kentucky.